I'm Andrea Smith. I'm the bottle designer, the promotions and salesperson for SF Vodka.
And I'm William Smith. I'm the master distiller here at SF Vodka.
We started this because we started kind of like with this beer thing as a hobby for a couple of years, him and my other brother-in-law. And it started as a hobby, but we wanted to build a family business, something that was something we can kind of pass down through the generations and everything. And at the time, the economy was really dropping, and we figured, what do people do when the economy is shitty? They drink. What do people do when the economy is great? They drink. Because it makes people happy. You know, you can celebrate with it, you can drown your sorrows. You're good. Originally, we were going to do gin. You kind of have to start with a really good vodka. But I think one of the reasons why vodka was so intriguing to us was that there's very little that's done to kind of play with the traditional. I mean, typically, you see either traditional vodka or you see the kind of brands that are there just to make a drink alcohol, and you have to cover up that flavor. And it just so happens that corn was what fueled the American economy in the beginning of America.
So
It is the American grain. That is the American grain. So we wanted to do that as the grain for our first vodka. And the next one, we wanted to do a fruit, but what is the California fruit?
grapes.
It's grape. And that just made sense. Not only was it easy to get, but we could get really high quality grapes around here. The sugarcane actually was something that we were kind of messing around with for a while. We really liked the idea of it, but I believe there's only one other vodka in the entire world that's made specifically from sugarcane. And I think it's made in Australia. And it's not something that's really all that easy to work with either, but what happens when you make a vodka out of it is just exceptional. It's kind of surprising how good it is.
This is where all the vodka sits, and it sits for about a month. I've noticed that the mouthfeel kind of changes, and so there's a 1 month period after processing. It sits on the floor here. That's not included in 1,000 hours, nor is the 1 month that after bottling, the bottles sit in order to attain the same mouthfeel as they have in the barrel after they get bottled.
So when it comes to the gin that you guys are trying to produce, like, you know, how far out are you guys from that, do you think? Are you guys still very much in the experimentation phase, trying to, you know, find your recipe, or?
You know, we actually have a recipe that's been approved, but it's got a whole lot more in it than, because you can take things out that you can't add in.
Yeah.
We have a rough recipe. We have things that we're kind of messing with still, trying to figure out exactly what we want to do. We have a rough idea, and I think we're probably about maybe 6 months out from that.
You know, it's funny when we get somebody who really likes one of the big brands, and then they come and they drink our stuff, and we're like, wow, you know, it really is that much better, I guess. You know, now I've been drinking it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So for me, it's pretty normal.
Basically, moonshine is 99 proof, and it's also not as highly processed as a vodka is, but it also has a lot more oils, natural oils, so it has more flavor. It's just sweet, really huge flavor. And it's not like most, usually when you hear moonshine, you hear headache at the same time.
I hear spitting. I hear people talking about spitting it into campfires.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen with moonshine.
Yeah, so we wanted to make moonshine that didn't really have that effect on people, but it's basically a moonshine. It's like
On the website, it has places you can click on try it, or click on buy it, and it brings up a map. You can put in your address where you're at, you know, and it'll give you the whole thing.
best places to go to find it if being served are more high-end restaurants, because that's where they would use it as like an actual ingredient to a cocktail type
Yeah,
thing.
and that was my next question, is you guys are in any restaurants or anything in the bag?
We are, actually, yeah. We're in a couple places in Berkeley, some in Oakland, mostly San Francisco, a few above San Francisco, some below, you know, over on that side of the bay.